Have you ever given someone a gift that blows their mind? Isn't that exciting? There was a commercial a few years ago. A kid got a remote control car for Christmas, and he was out in the driveway with joy in his heart, running the car all over the place. His mom was watching with delight. Her son was so happy, and the son drove the remote control up to the garage, and the garage was shut, and he said, "Mom, open the garage." So she hit the button, the garage door went open, and there sat a brand new Lexus with a red bow on top, and they lived happily ever after. Ads like that are great, but they are not too wonderful for words. There is a gift that is too wonderful for words. You already have it. It doesn't cost you anything. It's not limited to any time of the year. It is so magnificent that there are not enough words in the English vocabulary to communicate how wonderful this gift is. 2 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 15 says, "Thanks be to God for his indescribable gift." This verse may seem out of place because Paul's been talking about giving and finances, and all of a sudden he talks about the greatest gift in the world, and he calls it an indescribable gift. Perhaps 35 years had passed since baby Jesus had been born. 35 years passed, and Paul picks a stylus up in his hand, and he's writing scripture. And when he tries to describe the gift of Jesus, he couldn't find a word great enough to describe the gift. So he coined a new Greek word. This word doesn't appear anywhere in scripture, and we translate the word indescribable. There is an immensity in this word. There's a transcendence in the word, and it goes beyond and above what we could imagine. You know, creation was phenomenal, but not indescribable. The destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah was frightening, but not indescribable. Abraham's willingness to put his son on an altar and plunge a knife into his chest is remarkable, but not indescribable. Moses leading the Exodus out of Egypt was fantastic, but not indescribable. Moses crossing the Red Sea was magnificent, but not indescribable. The building of the temple under Solomon's rule was very impressive, but not indescribable. And end-time prophecies of Daniel is mind-boggling, but not indescribable. The preservation of the scriptures is astonishing, but not indescribable. But when it comes to the gift of Jesus, not even one word existed. So Paul coined a new Greek word, and he translated it indescribable. God is awesome. God is indescribable. So how do we describe the indescribable? Well, we approach it with a couple questions. Here's the first question. The question is, when was it delivered? Galatians 4:4 says, "But when the fullness of time came, God sent forth his Son, born of a woman, born under the law. In the fullness of time he came," meaning he came at the right time. Taxes were on the rise. Politically, the Jews were more than ever under Roman boot. They were being ruled by an anti-Semitic ruler. And this Roman-ruled world, the Jewish world, was living in great expectation. At the time Jesus was born, they were waiting for the deliverer. The old religions were dying. The old philosophies were empty and powerless to change men's lives. Strange new mystery religions were invading the kingdom. Religious bankruptcy and spiritual hunger was everywhere. God was preparing the world for the arrival of his Son. The Romans had prepared the world for the birth of Jesus also. They had constructed hard surface roads that connected city to city, making traveling easier. The gospel could spread incredibly fast. The world was at peace under Roman rule, and because Roman conquest, Latin and Greek were known languages across the empire, making communication possible for many across the world. All the prophecies about Jesus were completed. And to get a young couple from Nazareth to Bethlehem, where Micah said Jesus would be born, it took an emperor to issue a decree that would require young Mary and Joseph to go to Bethlehem, and it had to be at the right time, and prophecy was fulfilled. God's providential plan unfolded right on schedule.